Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Koki of the Seahawk Recap Show, and welcome to another Seahawk Game Recap video. Week 12 of this NFL season. Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals, and the battle for first place in the NFC West. And the Seahawks win it out. That's the second win in a row after they beat the 49ers last week. And man, what a game! Just a controlling game. This felt like a playoff game. I know it seems silly, week 12, but it really did. It had that kind of atmosphere to it. So, rambling on too much more in the intro, let's get in to recapping this week 12 matchup in the NFC West. If you like these videos, please consider giving a like. It lets me know if I'm doing a good job with these videos or not. And if you'd like to see any more future Seahawks content from this channel in the future, please consider subscribing. That would be greatly appreciated. To the game summary. So the Seahawks win 16 to the Cardinals 6. And let's start off with the Seahawks because they were the home team. The Seahawks ended the day with 285 total yards, 220 yards passing, 65 yards rushing. They averaged 4.7 yards per play, 17 first downs. They went 7 for 14 on third down, didn't go for it on fourth down. They had 61 total plays, 5 sacks allowed, 5 punts, 5 penalties for 51 yards given up, 0 fumbles lost, and 1 interception thrown by Geno Smith. 33 minutes and 13 seconds of possession time to end off the day for the Seattle Seahawks. On the other side, you got the Arizona Cardinals, and they had 298 total yards of offense, 249 yards passing, 49 yards rushing, averaged 5.3 yards per play, had 15 first downs. They went 3 for 12 on third down, went 0 for 1 on fourth down, had 56 total plays, 5 sacks allowed, 6 punts, 5 penalties for 60 yards given up, 0 fumbles lost, and the 1 interception thrown by Kyler Murray. And the Arizona Cardinals ended off the day with 26 minutes and 47 seconds of possession time. Let's get to Ryan's focus players and let's talk about Geno Smith for a second. 22 for 31, had 254 yards passing, the 1 touchdown, and the 1 interception. Geno Smith, good game from him. All things considered, good game, a good kind of manager game. He's in an offense where he is the leading guy in yards per game atop the NFL, but he's also the guy that leads the league in interceptions, and I'll get to that. But he had a really good game. He's hooking up with Jackson Smith and Jigba a lot more, and I really like those two together. Just it's a great kind of give and go between those two. It's really nice to see DK doing things in this game, being able to make some of the big catches that he made, especially that third down catch that he made for I believe it was like 27 yards or something like that. It was insane to see Smith playing this way. Makes me really happy. But then we get to the blemish, and it's the 1 interception. And again, it's another one in the red zone. And I'm going to talk about this in the final thoughts portion as well. But man, it's a ball that doesn't need to be thrown to Garrett Williams. And I don't like that about Geno's game is that he makes some of those mistakes. He can throw great passes, threading the needle out of the pocket. He can step in the pocket. He can do amazing things, but then he just has one blemish where you're just like, what the heck was that dude? And that's unfortunately one of those times, but great game from Geno Smith regardless. Let's get to Kenneth Walker the third, and he had 16 carries for 41 yards, averaged 2.6 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. But I want to take a look at his reception numbers 4 receptions for 52 yards, averaged 13 yards per reception, and 0 touchdowns. And things about Kenneth Walker that I really like is how explosive he can be with the ball in his hands. This year has been a very different year in years past. It's a lot more of Seattle's game plan on offense seems to be pass heavy oriented, and coming from Ryan Grubb, that's to be expected from a college head coach. And you look at it there, if you can't run with Kenneth Walker, if the offensive line isn't doing great, or the holes just aren't there for Kenneth Walker, get it into his hands regardless. And that's what they've been seeming to do over the past couple of games, where he's getting receptions instead of yards per carry and things like that. So I think Kenneth Walker ultimately had a very good game in the passing game as well. And he put up 16 carries for 41 yards. So can't complain about that. Great game from Kenneth Walker as a whole. And let's get to the man of the hour, wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba. And man, this guy has had like 3 monster games this season. And I keep highlighting him because he's doing excellent in his second year in the league. 6 receptions, 77 yards, averaged 12.8 yards per reception, had the one touchdown. And again, this touchdown was another one of Gino's masterpieces in the going into halftime in the second quarter of this game. It was under 2 minutes to go. We needed a touchdown to enter the half, and that's what Gino and Jackson Smith and Jigba really got going. Jackson Smith and Jigba had 2 catches on this drive that were instrumental. The little bubble screen kind of scratch play where it looks like he's going for a normal bubble screen. Tyler Lockett and no, I believe it was Jake Bobo and DK Metcalf were there blocking for him, and he takes it like a bubble screen, but then he cuts upfield inside like a angle route and gets a big dash on this Cardinals defense, and it's just a thing of beauty running it for, like, I believe it was 47 yards all told. And then to finish off the drive, it goes to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he gets a touchdown. And man, he's so good. He was coming out of the draft as one of the most talented wide receivers, and he's now in his second year with an actual offense coordinator that can utilize him in the slot really well. So good game from Jackson Smith and Jigba. We want to see this from the young kid. But let's get to the Seahawks defense and another stellar game from them, 2 games in a row. And let's talk about D lineman Leonard Williams, 3 solo tackles, 3 assisted, 2.5 sacks, and no forced fumbles. But Leonard Williams, what a guy he is for this defensive line for the Seahawks. He had a lot of pressures today. The Seahawks lead the NFL in pressures. I believe when I heard the stat, it was at 66 pressures, and that's the most in the NFL or something like that. I can't exactly remember the stat, but they said it on the broadcast. And man, Leonard Williams, just a veteran presence who was able to get in and after it. And against a guy like Kyler Murray, where he's a mobile scrambling quarterback, you need that. So great game from Leonard Williams and this entire Seahawks D line. They really showed up today. And let's get to another guy that I'm really impressed with. It's safety Kobe Bryant, 6 solo tackles, 0 assisted, 0 sacks. The one interception that was a pick six. And man, it was 69 yards at 7:12 in the third quarter. The Seahawks messed up on their first drive because they got the ball at half. They messed up on their third drive, and then they're like, okay, well, we didn't double up on points there to end the half, and we didn't get points here in the third. And Kobe Bryant's just like, okay, hold my beer. The defense is playing excellent, and he gets the pick on Kyler Murray from a Devin Witherspoon kind of tip. And it's a brilliant pick. Great from Kobe Bryant. I love this guy ever since he joined the Seahawks way back when. He was a corner. He's transitioned into safety, and I think that transition into safety has given him a lot more opportunities to flourish as a player. Some great hits from Kobe Bryant as well. He's a guy that has always had the potential of making gigantic hits and being really aggressive, but he's very smart in the way that he can just shove people out of bounds. And that's what you need in a safety like him. So good game from Kobe Bryant, putting the team on his back in the secondary. And let's get to the rookie linebacker, Tyrese Knight. 5 solo tackles, 4 assisted. His first career sack as a Seattle Seahawk and the fourth round pick out of UTAP. I've really enjoyed this rookie this year because, again, him and Ernest Jones the fourth are a very powerful duo. Ernest Jones has made this linebacking core a lot more cohesive. And again, Therese Knight making some tackles where he needs to. Is able to help out now Julian Love with securing tackles, is able to do things that you need in a linebacker. So great game from Therese Knight. He had some plays in there where he did miss some tackles, but again, he's a rookie. I'm expecting him to have some growing pains, but he did really well in this game. So good for him. Let's get to the Cardinals and let's get to QB Kyler Murray. 24 for 37, 285 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, the 1 interception by Kobe Bryant. And Kyler Murray, despite all his quote unquote issues on the stat sheet this game, he still threw for 285 yards, man. Like he and Trey McBride really carried this team today. And that's very uncharacteristic from these two, considering that the offensive game plan for the Cardinals is more of a run heavy team. They're like top 5 in rushing yards in the NFL, I believe, was a stat that they said on the broadcast. So ultimately, Kyler Murray's stats don't look great, but he made some really good throws. I'm thinking back to Michael Wilson's couple of catches. Marvin Harrison's really getting in the groove, and despite his stats, Kyler Murray had a good game today. So he had the 1 interception that was the pick six, but the offensive line for the Cardinals really wasn't holding up. And that was just due to the fact that the Seahawks defense showed up like it was a playoff game today and wreaked some havoc. All in all, good game from Kyler Murray. Let's get to running back James Conner, 7 carries, 8 yards, averaged 1.1 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. His rushing stats look abysmal on paper and exactly like Kenneth Walker right now. 5 receptions, 41 yards, averaged 8.2 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns. This was a game on offense where you needed to be pass happy, do anything, because that's just how the cookie crumbled. Again, it's a interdivisional matchup, and usually those interdivisional matchups between these two teams, between rivals, can get heated. So, it looks like the running game did not have a good time, and running backs coach will have to go back to the drawing board. But James Conner, just such a guy, hard guy to bring down. A former Pittsburgh Steeler, he was hard to bring down in Pittsburgh on some of his big man runs, and he was hard to bring down here for the Seahawks defense, but they were able to do it. Good game from James Conner, all things considered. Let's get to tight end Ray McBride and the leader of this receiving group. 12 receptions, 133 yards, averaged 11.1 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns. Ray McBride had a career game, a historic game for the Cardinals, bringing up career highs in receptions and I believe yards for this Cardinals team, and he's now leading that on the reception list for tight ends at the position for the Cardinals in their history. So great game from Trey McBride. He is such an underrated tight end in my opinion because he's so shifty, but he can also block and he's very hard to bring down like most tight ends are because he's just so big. So good game from Trey McBride. Let's get to the Cardinals defense and let's get to D lineman Dante Stills. Two solo tackles, one sack, no forced fumbles. And man, Dante Stills, he is a guy that was brought in to get pass rush ability, and he's unlocking things for people like Ray Lopez. He's unlocking things for uh, Buda Baker to come in from his safety spot and try and help out and everything. And he's opening things for opposing offenses to not get the run game going. He was a crucial part in stopping Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet today. So good game from the Cardinals D lineman. Let's get to DB and let's get to safety. Buda Baker, the veteran, four solo tackles, three assisted, one sack, no interceptions. But man, Buda Baker has been one of the cornerstone pieces for this Cardinals defense, and he continues to be that. The man is aggressive when it comes to stopping the run. He's very good, and he was very good in this game. If he was in the box, he was going to try and make those tackles. He was going to try and get sacks, and he did get one on Geno Smith there. He made some really good plays in the box for this Cardinals team, stopping the run and really getting in there on making pass breakups too. Let's get to linebacker Zay Xavier Collins, three solo tackles, one sack, no interceptions. And man, Collins is a guy at the linebacker position that is another cornerstone piece for this Cardinals defense. He's a guy that came in today and he just puts up numbers on the stat sheet, but he also was in there to deflect passes, to try and bat passes down. He did a couple of those things against Geno Smith in this game, and he's just such a beast when he comes off the edge as an edge rusher. He's usually used in the pass rush for the Cardinals, so good game from him as well. Ryan's final thoughts. What went well? Another fantastic effort by this Seahawks defense today, only allowing 6 points the entire game, helping out the offense by getting a pick six. And Gino and the offense had to just game manage this game. And now the Seahawks are leading the NFC West and are back on top. And this just shows how cohesive this team can be when offense and defense are working together. Mike McDonald's system and then Ryan Grubb's system are working together. This team can be a force. I knew that this team personnel, the people that are on this team right now, in terms of personnel, are just going to have to wait and glue together. It's the first season of a brand new regime change, and now we're seeing it. A win over the 49ers and a win over the Arizona Cardinals. Go into week 13, beat the Jets, and you're on a 3-game winning streak. And in an NFC West that is so tight right now, that's all you need. So great game. That's what went well in the game, but there are always things to improve on. So, what to improve on? The offensive line in this game did have the struggles today, giving up 5 sacks against the Cardinals. And once again, I knew I was going to talk about this again. Geno Smith throws another interception in the red zone. Luckily, the defense balled out again today, shutting down the Cardinals' offense. And that's the thing about the offense is that this was a very defensive type of game. And that's what you get when you have two defensive minded head coaches in Jonathan Gannon and Mike McDonald. You're going to get kind of these close matchups, these feisty matchups. And that's what happened today. Just some of the offensive line struggles is what I was witnessing today. Pocket collapses, especially on the 4-man pass rushers. packages that came in. Only rushing 4 men and getting a sack, that's a problem. Did not have Anthony Bradford for the remainder of the game. I didn't see how he got injured, but he got injured early in the first quarter of this game. So hopefully he is okay and will get back healthy. But, just offensive line still needs to continue to gel and get better over time. That's the only thing that I really have an issue with in this game. And the Geno interception, of course, he needs to kind of clean up those mistakes because if we make the playoffs, those mistakes will really need to be cleaned up come playoff time. Overall, this game was fantastically played by the Seahawks. The team showed up when it mattered. Julian Love and Mike McDonald echoed this week that this was like a playoff game. From here on out, they wanted to play playoff style football, and this is why they won the game. This is the kind of effort that you need to show if you're going to make the playoffs. If you're going to have any hope of doing that, you're going to need to play these last couple of games really, really hard because the NFC West is a shootout right now. Anybody from week to week can win it. So now you need to build on the momentum of the 2 game win streak and make it 3 because you need to kind of separate yourself from everybody else in this division. The division's not even close to being sewn up. And for the Arizona Cardinals, I really don't know what happened to your offense this week. You guys, again, are a bit of a run first team. So, you guys just had a bit of missteps today. And there's not much great to talk about other than Ray McBride putting on a fantastic show, man. Like that guy is going to show up for your team in big ways. And last year you guys were feisty, and even this year you guys are feisty. You were holding on to the top spot in the NFC West when no one expected you to be. And you lose here against the Seahawks team that you lost to in the past. I hope you guys will bounce back in week 13, and I bet you guys will because you're the Cardinals. You guys have been surprising us for years where nobody thought you would be in a shot to make the playoffs, but if you keep playing well and you bounce back next week, anything can happen. It's always nice to play the Cardinals because I really like your team's structure, and if you just continue to get better, who knows? You guys could be in real contention for the playoffs. Anyways, guys, that is it for this Seahawk game recap of week 12. I will see you guys in the next video when the Seahawks take on the New York Jets in week 13. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How are you feeling after the Seahawks win? Oh, I'm just so happy we're back on top of the NFC West. Now we just need to carry this momentum and keep on playing it like it's playoff football. Anyways, that is it for this video. Go Hawks, go. Take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your week.